Welcome to another Transformers Universe Classics 2.0 review. This time we're going to be looking at the Deluxe Class Cheetor figure. Cheetor's alt mode, as for the name insists, is a cheetah. Now this is an entirely new mode as opposed to the original and Beast Wars 10th anniversary releases. In this form he is much more accurate to the show counterpart and to a real life cheetah. Especially if you look on the sides here, has a very angled back, as a lot of most cheetahs do. Has a long neck, and is overall very feline. It feels a lot like a smaller version of the Beast Machine's Cheetor, as far as especially the shape and feel of the arms and legs, or I guess the legs here in this mode, but and the head design is very similar too, but just in a more realistic animal approach. Not too much kibble in this mode, but there is some expected, since beast modes are very hard to pull off to make it look exact. And those are visible from underneath, where you see the blue from the inside of the arms and from the kneecaps here, and a little joint there. But overall it's really not bad at all. And a little bit more here on top. Now this really doesn't have any gimmicks in this mode except for being super posable, which it is. It's almost too posable, because it can actually be pretty challenging to get all the feet on ground at the same time. Like right now I have these three here, but this one is kind of just hovering above the ground ever so slightly, as you can see right there. So it can be a little bit tricky to get all of them in a kind of realistic position, because they are pretty posable. But one thing this mode does have that's unique to this mode as opposed to the second one is right now his mouth is closed, and it has his eyes are green, and there's this button right here on his back. Pulling it down, and pulling it down will reveal fangs, and his eyes will turn red. Not sure why the point of his eyes turning red would be, because I don't think he's ever done that before, but there's a neat little gimmick there. Other than that, that's about it for this mode. It is very accurate, very cool to look at. It's actually fairly large. I was expecting it to be a little bit smaller. It's definitely a lot bigger than the original Cheetor figure. But as far as the alt modes go, this is definitely the best Cheetor figure in my opinion. And that is including the transmetal designs. I just find the transmetal designs kind of boring, but it's a lot more unique to be able to pull off a pretty realistic cheetah mode without having too much kibble on it. Now to transform this is really kind of tricky at first, but once you get the gist of it, it's not too bad at all. First we're just going to discard, take off, and set this tail off to the side somewhere. Then in a very Beast Wars fashion, just straighten out the legs. And these will, actually you want to kind of flatten the feet out like that, because that will become an entire foot. Okay, just leave that for now. Take this back section here, flip this panel open, and turn it around so that you can start to see the ball joints of the arms there, and just fold them out, and just put that back in there, close this panel back up, and then that will actually attach to the cheetah neck. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't see that. That will attach to the cheetah neck right here. Both sides. now I'm going to take this entire legs section here and twist it around to the front where the head is. Take this little, I'm not sure what to call it, but you see some fur there. Take this and rotate it up till you see the maximal signal there. Symbol, not signal. And there's a couple of notches on the side here, and they will go into those holes there. And do that for both sides. And then rotate the waist down a little bit. And the lower half is done there. Oh, and let's fold this down there. Rotate the arms in position like this. Take the paws here. Snap them backwards and rotate them. Try to get them as out of the way as you can. There you go. Last step. Take this little notch here, pull it back, and make sure it heads up all the way because it's kind of independent of each other. Push that back, and that reveals the head. And there's Cheetor in robot mode. Now, this does take some getting used to in this mode. There's a lot more blue in this mode. His eyes are green this time, but they are pretty small. And the mouth on the robot mode itself is actually a little bit too big, I think, especially in the upper lip section. I don't remember his face looking that feline in the show, but I may be wrong. But other than that, while not being completely accurate, I'll get on more reasons that is, actually has a fair amount of detail on it, mostly in the robot front here. It still has this kind of a tiger or some kind of cat design on the waist that was also present on the original Cheetor, which those kind of look like eyes and those kind of look like teeth, but this is a little bit more subtle than the original release, while the first one had like a flap that pulled down. It was very flat. Couple things I don't like about this toy in the robot mode is that it actually takes away some characteristics or some features from the original mode that made that one more accurate than this one in some features, such as the feet. The original one did not have cheetah feet. The original one had it turned the foot around and popped out a little, almost looked like a heel, but that actually became foot. I would definitely much prefer that over just plain cheetah feet. In the original and the show model, the front legs actually rotate, and depending on the toy or show, they actually just either stay vertical on the back or they kind of cross like that. The show model had them crossing, but these are just permanently attached to his forearms here, which really takes away from the figure, in my opinion. I can deal with the cheetah feet, but this was one of my biggest disappointments with this figure is when I saw pictures of it. But I think the reason why they put that there on the forearms is because they probably didn't have room, because he is a real massive backpack here. While it is pretty light and hollow, it's still, if you don't have the feet planted just right, it still can throw him pretty well off balance. Also, this is not a big deal, but it's something. The maximal symbol is on his waist this time. They can make symbols small enough, so why don't they put it on his forehead crest as it was in the show? Because they can make the symbol small enough. They did it before. They did it with a premium, no, not premium, was it a Capture a Bumblebee? they have a real tiny Autobot symbol on his forehead. So there's no reason why they couldn't have done it for this one. But that's just me being real nitpicky about it. But overall, it is still pretty flexible. Has a lot of posability in its legs due to having 1, 2, 3, just 3 joints right here from his knee down. The arms leave a lot to be desired. They just kind of, if you get them as straight as you can, it still kind of looks like he's hunching over. Unless you get him just positioned just right. But even that, he still kind of looks like he's flexing a little bit. That's the best way I can describe it. His shoulders are going almost to the middle of his head, and they just kind of have a natural bend to them. It makes it look like he's trying to be buff looking. Plus, this one, the cheetah head sticks out pretty far from it. I mean, it looks like he has just a cheetah head wart coming out from his stomach, as opposed to the original, which the head just kind of, or at least in the show model, just kind of laid flat against the rest of the body. Wow. This was kind of more distracting. So I really do like this figure in cheetah mode. The robot mode does leave a lot to be desired. Had a lot of potential though. His weapons, they can be stored in his lower leg here. There's 2 of them, which are I'll call samurai stars, which feel like he's ripping off from anime Prowl, just shaped a little bit different, but exact same weapon. And you can use his tail as a sword or a whip or something. Such a generic looking weapon. I would have much rather had the classic Cheetor guns where he had 2 of them. One was his tail that converted to a gun, and the one which had cheetah guts in it. I think that's one of the most iconic weapons actually from Beast Wars, is the Cheetor gut cannon thing. So no real guns here. Is more accurate to the original Cheetor in some aspects, but also is less accurate in just as many, in my opinion. Wouldn't really recommend this figure for the casual Transformer fan. I would really only recommend it for Beast Wars fans, because I don't think anyone else could really appreciate this figure as much as a Beast Wars fan, but that's my opinion about it. This is part of the 25th anniversary line, so I think it might have a limited run. At least not as long as the other universe figures, but I'm not sure. But I would say pass on it. It's not really that great a figure unless you want to just display him in cheetah mode. In that case, it is a great figure, but really needs a lot of improvement. Feels like it was rushed. Until next time, thanks for watching.